FlipAClip. Today we're looking at sound effects. So I got a little basic walk cycle going on here. Masterpiece. To add sounds, we have a few options. We'll look at a couple. To access these sounds, you need to hit the bottom left here, little music symbol. Okay, so we have multiple channels that we can add sounds to. Let's experiment a little bit. So the ways we can add sounds into our FlipAClip are over on the right side here above the music timeline below my animation. So the first one, starting with the left, is the audio library. And if you want to throw FlipAClip some money, you can have all kinds of access to professional sound effects, but I like to keep my money. You can always record your own sounds by tapping on the microphone button here. I haven't yet given FlipAClip access to the microphone. I'll do that here and record a sound. Wabba 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 wabba. Wabba 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 wabba. Sweet. I could have trimmed it in that previous screen, but I can do that here as well. It says drag it to a track, so you can layer up multiple clips. 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, what is that, 6, 7 channels, something like that. Let's put it on this first channel here. If I want to trim this recording, it looks like I have a whole bunch of blank nothingness at the beginning of this clip. I can tap once to bring up these trim bars and drag in from the left to trim the sound itself. And then I could just grab this sound effect. Let's see, tap off it, tap on to drag it back to the beginning of my clip. Wobble, 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 wobble. Man, that is just too perfect. Cool, so that's easy enough with the microphone there. But if you're not the sound effect type, you could always go to the web and download any number of sound effects. Lots of free websites that do that sort of service. So that'd be the last feature on the right there, is adding a sound effect. So this is a premium feature, but you can get through it by just suffering and watching an ad, basically. So I'm going to do that now. So I suffered through an ad. I'll trim that out of the video. But here's what we'd have access to for sound effect library. If you have anything in iTunes library, so if you had like actual songs in there, I guess, or song files living in iTunes, looks like you could bring those in pretty easily. I don't use iTunes though, so I'm going to be using the file feature here. Let's talk about where you could get some files before we source a file. So I like to use a free website called freesound.org. And I've already got an account and I'm logged in, it looks like still. So this has different categories of sounds here and different tags to kind of classify those sounds. So you could browse tags off to the right side here where it's under the heading More Sounds. So you can essentially look for categories by searching the tags. So if you have something in mind, you might find something there. Or you could search at the top in that red box. I'm going to go for nature. See what we find in the nature tag. And that brings me up some more tags that might also be helpful to narrow it down a little bit. So I have one tag, nature. It looks like a nice day during my animation, so maybe a bird song would be a nice tag to add as well. Bird whistling single. Yeah, sure, why not? So to download these is pretty simple. Just click on the sound effect and click download. On Safari, it looks like this. It just says, do you want to download that sound effect? Why, yes, I do. I've noticed on Chrome it maybe does a little something funky, but maybe stick with Safari to make sure your life works like mine is here. So here comes my sound file, my little download tab there. Where that sound goes is into this file app here on your iPad. So here is my sound effect. Ah, that's just lovely. Sounds like summer, which of course it is not here. So anyways, back to FlipAClip. I'm gonna click on File now. That's the File app. Here is the name of this bird song file here. Let's add that in. And I can layer that on top of my wabba wabba wabbas here. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing the actual waveform of the audio like I can on my recording, but at least it works. I can hear the bird song. Then I can make some decisions off to the left here of how loud or how soft each of these tracks would be. So if I want my wabba wabbas a little quieter, I can click on the volume specifically for that track and drag it down a bit. Wabba wabba wabba. So I'm a little bit quieter. Or if those birds are a bit much, I could bring them down. I'm going to bring my wabbas even lower. Wabba 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 wabba. And of course my clip here is way longer than my animation. I guess it's only 5 seconds to this clip, but my animation itself right now is only a second and a half, so it obviously outplays my clip, but at least you can see how easy it is to bring in audio. And then, yeah, I guess that's about it. So a couple different ways to bring in audio. Like I said, you can pay money to FlipAClip. I wouldn't recommend it, I guess, even though it's a great app and you could support the app developers that way. You could record your own sounds, which is kind of fun. Do your own Foley work. Or you can just head to a website like freesound.org, download the file, source it here. Have fun with sound.